So, ngayon naman ay didiscuss ko yung operations and functions, pati yung add and even functions. Okay. So, let f and g be functions. New functions can be obtained from f and g using the following operations. So, first we have the sum or difference. So, yung sum ng f and g, which we denote as f plus g of x, is just equal to f of x plus g of x. So, ganun din kung difference. You just replace addition with subtraction. Okay. So, medyo intuitive itong definition ng sum. Actually, itong product din. Yung product ng f and g, which is f times g or fg of x, is just equal to the product of f of x and g of x. Okay. And same thing with the quotient, f over g of x is equal to f of x over g of x. Then, ito yung medyo iba sa kanila kasi wala siyang counterpart dun sa usual 4 arithmetic operations natin. Ito yung composition of two functions. Ito yung notation natin. We read this as either f circle g or f of g of x. Okay. I prefer na f of g of x since it really reflects the definition of that operation wherein we are literally evaluating f at g of x. Okay. So, let's look at some examples. So, aalamin din natin kung alin dito yung commutative. But, from the fact that we know that addition and multiplication are commutative, so addition and, let's write that. So, yung sum and product, since the sum and product of two functions is just the sum and product of the individual values of the functions at x, and sum and products are commutative, then those operations are also commutative. So, yung hindi commutative, obviously, ay yung difference. So, not commutative. We have the difference. Of course, a minus b is not always equal to b minus a unless parehong 0 sila. And then, f divided by g is not equal to g divided by f. And then, it turns out yung composition din hindi siya commutative. But let's show that in the next example. Okay. So, find f plus g, f minus g, f times g, f over g, and f of g. We are given f of x equals square root of x, g of x equals 1 over x minus 1. And then let's show that the composition of functions is not commutative. So, f plus g, and it's just the sum of f and g. So, square root of x plus 1 over x minus 1. So, f minus g is just the difference. So, square root of x minus 1 over x minus 1. And then, the product. Okay. So, square root of x times 1 over x minus 1. So, square root of x over x minus 1. And then, f over g is square root of x over 1 over x minus 1, or square root of x times x minus 1. Now, punta tayo sa composition, f of g. So, that's f evaluated at g. So, ito yung f natin, square root of x. This is our outermost function. Ilalagay ko sa loob, papalitan ko yung x ng 1 over x minus 1. Okay. Now, let's show that composition is not commutative. So, hindi siya commutative kapag binaliktad natin yung f and g dito, ibang function yung makukuha natin. So, pakita natin, ayan, g of f is equal to, so this is now g evaluated at f. So, ito yung g natin, 1 over x minus 1. Yung x dito, papalitan ko ng square root of x. So, 1 over square root of x minus 1. And obviously, we produced different functions. So, therefore, f of g is not equal to g of f. So, indeed, hindi nga commutative ang composition of functions. Now, functions can be classified into three, by whether they are odd or even or neither. So, a function is odd and if f of negative x is equal to negative f of x. Ibig sabihin, kapag pinalitan natin yung x ng negative x, pwede nating i-factor out yung negative sa labas. Ang makukuha natin ay negative times the original function. Even naman siya if f of negative x is equal to f of x. Ibig sabihin, kapag pinalitan natin yung x ng negative x, we just get the original function. Walang nagbabago sa function. It's possible for a function to be neither odd nor even. Okay. And the property of being either odd, even, or neither is called the function's parity. Okay. So let's determine the parity of the following functions. All we need to do is to evaluate f at negative x, and then let's see what happens. Do we get negative f of x? Do we get f of x? Or do we get something else? So let's start with here, x cubed over x. So f of negative x is equal to negative x cubed plus negative x. Negative x cubed is just negative x. Quantity negative x cubed is just negative x cubed. And then minus x. I can factor out the negative to get x cubed plus x. So, itong x cubed plus x, this is just the original function. Okay. So, we have negative of f of x. So, therefore, odd itong function natin. Ito namang g of x. So, negative x raised to 4 plus 3. Okay. Sorry. Dapat evaluate natin ang g at negative x. Ayan. So, negative x raised to 4 plus 3. Ngayon, even yung exponent natin, so itong negative x raised to 4, it's just equal to x raised to 4 plus 3, which is equal to g of x. So, na-preserve natin yung function, and therefore g of x is even. Now, you can actually make at this point, you can already make a conclusion when a polynomial function, because we only have polynomial functions here in this example. Kailan odd or even ng isang polynomial function. So, itong first example natin, yung mga exponents ng x natin ay odd. Kaya kapag pinalitan natin yung x ng negative x, na-factor out lang yung negative. Okay. So, if a polynomial function contains terms such that all powers of x are odd, so dito meron tayong 3, x raised to 3, and then x, which is just, of course, x raised to 1. So, odd parehas. Odd lahat ng powers, then odd function din yung f of x. Dito naman sa g of x, even yung powers ng x. Okay? We have x raised to 4. 4 is even. Itong 3, this is just 3 times x raised to 0. And 0 is also even. And when we raise a number to an even power, yung negative nung number na yon makaka-cancel out lang. Magiging positive 1, in other words. Okay. So, kapag meron tayong polynomial function at bawat term ay even ang exponent, then that polynomial function will also be an even function. Ngayon, i-verify natin kung odd or even ang h of x. So, evaluate ko yung h at negative x. Meron akong negative x, quantity negative x raised to 4 plus quantity negative x cubed. And I will get x raised to 4 minus x cubed. And this is neither equal to h of x or negative h of x. So this is neither odd nor even. And again, looking at the exponents, meron tayong even, meron din tayong odd na exponent. So kung meron tayong combination of odd and even exponents dun sa loob ng polynomial function natin, it will be neither odd nor even. Okay. So here, I want you to name a function that is both odd and even. Try to pause the video and think of a function which is neither odd nor even. Okay. So we only have one function which is, which is both. Sabi ko kanina neither, but I want you to name a function which is both odd and even, and only one such function exists, and that is the zero function. The function which is equal to 0 for all x. Okay. So f of negative x is 0, and 0 is just equal to negative of f of x. Ayan. And f, ayan. So f of negative x is equal to 0. Now since f of x itself is equal to 0, yung negative niya 0 din. But 0 is also the original function. So it's both odd and even. So in fact, pwede nating isulat ang 0 as either 0x cubed. So meron tayong polynomial function with an odd exponent. Pwede rin nating isulat as 0x raised to 4. So we have a polynomial function with an even exponent.